Hey Warhawks, we're back with another episode of the Creating Connections podcast where passions become professions. I'm your host, Elijah Moore. Today's guest is Chase Keller, a journalism student who's involved on campus with his journalism and his marketing efforts around UW-Whitewater. In this episode, we dive into the topics of being a Royal Purple editor, winning a journalism award, and his journey as a UW-Whitewater student. So, Chase Keller, thank you for joining me on this podcast. I know that it's very late timing, but because summer's coming up. But let's understand who you are as a guest. So, who are you, and what is your background?
Absolutely. So first, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But as you mentioned, I'm Chase Keller. I'm a journalism major with a minor in marketing here at Whitewater. I'm from Huntley, Illinois, so around 75 minutes south of here. I'm not local to the area, but still pretty close, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been a part of journalism just wherever for around 5 years now, dating back to high school. We had a news magazine in high school, and I kind of replaced being an athlete with hoping to become a sports writer. And I joined the news magazine for that reason, and it kind of just developed into a passion for storytelling. And now I'm here at UW-Whitewater taking advantage of opportunities. I'm involved with all three major student media organizations here. I also work with the Residence Hall Association, and that's kind of just my thing is I love getting involved. So
Mm-hmm.
that's mainly why I'm here. The opportunities here are amazing, so that's why I'm at UW-Whitewater.
Awesome. And then, as someone interested in content creation and marketing, what got you specifically interested in wanting to pursue the journalism major?
So when it comes to specifically for UW-Whitewater, there's a Kempa camp here. It's Kettle Moraine something something, and they have a summer camp that they run here every year, or mostly every year. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it this past summer,
Mm-hmm.
but it's basically a camp that teaches students about journalism and media, and it ties really back into UW-Whitewater as well because you have the advisors of these different organizations that are doing workshops with students, or you have professors here on campus who are doing workshops and seminars with students.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a couple things that really stood out to me about the Kempa Camp, and one of them really specific to UW-Whitewater is there are so many opportunities here. And I visited a couple other schools
Mm-hmm.
before Kempa Camp and after Kempa Camp, and what's really different about Whitewater is a lot of these other schools are just, oh, you're gonna spend your first year taking classes and doing your introductory classes, and then you can get involved in
Mm-hmm.
maybe by your senior year you'll have a higher role in a organization.
Yeah.
At UW Whitewater, you can get involved right away. There are so many opportunities to be a higher up with whatever organization that may be,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically like you're almost bound to be one of those higher ups. And that's something that I really enjoy is leadership, and I want to take advantage of just leadership opportunities, and UW Whitewater offers that. But even more personally, like I love the campus here, and the Kempa Camp introduced me to the campus here.
Mm-hmm.
It's separated from the city, which I really like. The nature and the vibe of campus is just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the campus here.
Yeah.
And then you also have the fact that I mentioned that I'm close to home still. And I love my family. I'm a big family guy, and my college decision really came down to either UW Whitewater or Central Michigan University, which is like 5 hours away from home. And just the thing that really just that turned me over was the proximity to home and the proximity to family.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the opportunities are great here, and there are plenty of reasons why I chose UW Whitewater, but I really think that deciding factor was just how close it was to home and
Yeah.
how local it is for me. So there were plenty of things that allowed me to pursue a degree here at UW Whitewater, but
Mm-hmm.
the Kempa summer camp here really just sparked that.
Yeah, I really like what you mentioned about anyone being able to be involved very quickly, just like that. I know that freshmen's they can audition to be host on a specific show on the UW TV, which is really nice. You can get involved just like that, which is one of the big ups, definitely. Now, to wrap up, sort of understanding who you are very quickly, what is something you're currently working on, like a passion project or something on the side?
So I'm not really working on anything on the side per se. The big thing right now is I'm taking the capstone course for journalism. Now, I would take it next semester for my final semester, but unfortunately, it's not offered in the fall and it's only offered in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
But this is also far and wide the busiest semester that I've had. And capstone is a big contributor to that, but that's also because it's my big project, and it is pretty much here's what encapsulates me as a student, and here's what encapsulates my time here at UW-Whitewater. And I decided to do a writing piece on participation in youth sports across the country. And I'm noticing that the participation is going down. As a youth athlete myself, I've noticed that, or I did notice that, and I'm one of those athletes who stepped away from youth sports. And yes, it was to pursue becoming a writer and becoming a journalist, but there are people who have plenty of a plethora of different reasons, I guess you could say. And I'm not too far into it right now, really. Still getting in contact with sources. I have gotten in contact with some youth coaches that I do know. I've gotten in contact with a sports psychologist as well for this story. Really, I that's the big project right now, is trying to just work on that. It's got to be 8 pages long. It's got to have 8 sources and all this stuff. And that's the big project right now. That is what I'm really focusing on, and then that's going to change once I'm done with the project for my final semester here on campus. But I would say that's something that I'm currently working on that I'm very excited to see how it pans out.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that you touched up on some of the involvements that you're doing on campus here, but what other organizations are you involved on campus here?
So I can also kind of go a little bit in depth on that too. So I'm involved with the 3 major student media organizations. The main gig is the Royal Purple, the campus newspaper, where I am the editor-in-chief of it. That kind of allows me to oversee the staff, oversee our operations and what the Royal Purple does and the content that it puts out. I also run the opinion section for it as well, which are student-submitted columns or professor-submitted. Any Whitewater relevant person can submit a column to us for an opinion, and I like to reach out like for a topic specific. Like for example, we have Earth Day coming up, so I'm reaching out to sustainability for an Earth Day column, stuff like that. And all of it is student submitted, but it involves a lot of emails, which is something that kind of mixed on, but
Like a lot of outreaching.
yes, a lot. And a lot of it is also just pushing people to respond. Sometimes they don't get the first one or the second one.
Yeah.
But I run that opinion section, and then I still write stories wherever it's needed. Some sections don't have the firepower that other sections do in terms of either number of students, or some people are very involved, so they can't do a story every week. So wherever that's needed, I can help also write a story for any section. For the other student media, I host Warhawk Talk for 91.7 The Edge, WSUW Whitewater. It's a lot of fun. This is the second year that we've done Warhawk Talk. The first year I was just a panelist, and I'm the host of the show as well. And that's a lot of fun. That's really my only involvement with radio. And then with TV, I do the sports update, and I host that, which is seen around TVs around campus every day pretty much, outside of most of Monday, because that's when we record the next one.
Yeah.
So I do that for TV, and that's really my only involvement with them, outside of sometimes I'll announce a game or two for them, whether that be I've done basketball, I've done soccer, and I'm looking to do baseball coming up as well, and maybe softball. We'll see
We'll
what
see.
the availability is like for that. So I'm involved with all of them, and then I'm also with the Residence Hall Association here on campus, and I would call that like the job of the 4. I do get paid for Royal Purple, but it's not like weekly or anything like that. I would say this is more of the job side of things. I do social media and marketing, and also programming with the Residence Hall Association. That's more of just promoting programs that we have, or doing campaigns, or just making some fun, humorous videos with them.
Yeah.
And I've been involved with them for a while too. This is my 6th semester with Royal Purple, 4th semester with RHA, 4th semester with radio, and 2nd semester with TV. So
That's a lot.
really, it is. It is a lot, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's busy, but it's fun.
Yeah.
That's really all I could say. Is it might be busy, but at least I'm having fun doing it.
Yeah, definitely something that'll keep you busy. But all of those, we're going to touch up on those because I would love to learn a lot more about those, because
Sure.
those sound really interesting. But being a student and really involved in these endeavors, how do you find the time to balance all of these while focusing on homework and curricular activities?
It's hard. It
Yeah.
is hard to balance all of it, I will tell you.
Hmm.
But I've come around to enjoy it because really my big thing, just like mindset wise, is to be satisfied with myself. I got to be productive. I got to do something. Like if there's a day where I'm not scheduled to do anything, I'm gonna find something to do. Whether that be doing something on the side, like where I'm like cleaning up my kitchen or something like that,
Hmm.
or if I am really busy, just trying to get all of it done whenever it has to be done. Um, and it is hard to be fully productive when I have so many things going on. But I find my ways. I do think Google Calendar is my best friend, and that has been a big contributor to me being able to get stuff done. I plan out everything on
Yeah.
that on Google Calendar. I plan out my meals and I plan out like the specific time that I'm gonna go shopping in a day, or I also plan out my homework and stuff. So like if I have to get this stuff done by Friday, I
Hmm.
know I'm going to have this much time to do homework on each day. So here are specific assignments that I'm going to knock out on these specific days, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, Google Calendar has been my best friend to get all of this stuff done
Hmm.
and to balance everything really. And it also helps me out too, because if I know I'm missing something, like I know what I'm doing, like the things that I have to do like every week, like I have to do the sports update every week and I have to write
Hmm.
a script for that. I have to do Warhawk Talk every week and I have to put out show topics for that and then take notes on those said topics.
Hmm.
And if I'm missing it, I know I can easily look it up and figure out, oh, I need to find time for this too.
Yeah.
Um, so I do think that having that full plan is necessary for me personally,
Hmm.
just so I know I need to get or at least everything that I need to get done. There we go. Find time for all of that, and then just plan it all out. I think that's like very necessary for me.
Yeah. That's like a perfect way of executing it. Do you find yourself like procrastinating then? Or
Sometimes, I mean, that's like the typical
yeah.
college student. Like,
I know I was about to say like
is
you're
is
executing everything very well. So I was like there's got to be some room, but
everyone's gonna
oh,
procrastinate at some point. Sometimes
you just got to admit it, guys.
I'm like, I could do this tomorrow, and then I just sit on my Xbox and play Rocket League or
For
something
real.
like that.
No, for real.
Like,
It's like a canon event. Canon event.
exactly.
Awesome. After graduating, what do you want to pursue?
So it's kind of changed. I did obviously want to go into the print journalism side of things and the sports writing especially, but now I'm looking more into social media now. And just to be blatant first, there is more financial flexibility with social media because it's a rising industry. The top dogs get paid a lot. I think Duolingo, I know Duolingo has a huge social media presence, but I'm
Mm,
pretty sure their social media managers get like 400 grand a year. It's insane.
really?
Um, but I love writing and I love journalism, and I'm still going to do freelance stuff. Like I still want to contribute to local journalism. I just don't want it to be a full-time job because
Mm,
I want to pursue more social media.
mm,
And I have secured, I'm on now going to be on my second internship with social media. I recently was hired as a social media intern for the American College of Chest Physicians,
oh,
and it's
congratulations.
more, I appreciate that, thank you. It's more the management side of things though. So I had the one with the Max Sports Center, and that was more content creation. And now I have one with Chest, which is what the abbreviation is. It's not an abbreviation, but they go by that.
Mm,
Um, where it's more the management stuff. So they kind of give me the content and I post it and I put it up, and they have like Hootsuite and HubSpot and stuff, the social media scheduling platforms. They have those, and I'm excited to use them because I know Hootsuite
yeah.
just from a class. I don't know HubSpot, but I know it's very similar. But
Hmm.
it fascinates me just how much you can do on those platforms. So I'm really excited to use those. Um, but yeah, it's not like I'm choosing social media just because I'll get paid more doing social media. I
Hmm.
also still love doing it, of course. I have had the mindset even before I went to college, like I'm not gonna do it if I don't love doing it,
Yeah.
and that's where I'm at.
Hmm.
That's why I decided to pursue journalism, knowing about the financial ways that the journalism career path has, but I still chose it because I'm like I love doing it,
Hmm.
so I'm gonna study it now, and I'm gonna see where that takes me. And now that's taken me towards social media. It's also kind of where the marketing minor comes in as well,
Mm,
but nonetheless, like I still love doing social media. It's not just gonna be the finances. I still love doing it.
yeah. Awesome. I feel like that's really good too. Would you say like you being an editor for the Royal Purple, that's both marketing efforts but also focusing on the journalism side of it too?
I would say so because I also help with social media as
Yeah.
well with the Royal Purple.
Mm.
And that's kind of where the overseeing operations kind of comes in. Like for anyone who follows the Royal Purple social media pages, every Monday we do like a carousel post
Mm.
and it's like 5 top stories from this week and then we throw them in a slideshow
Mhm.
and it's just the viewers can
Yeah.
see like what do we have, and then
Mhm.
if they want to read more, they can go to our website. And that's what I do pretty much every once a week for us, and it takes like 30 minutes to do. It's pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
and it's nice. And like I already read all the stories. I'm like I know which ones I'm gonna put up on the website,
Mhm.
or not on the website, on social media pages. All of them are going up on the website, of course, but which 5 do I want to choose to put in this carousel post? And it's always 5 as well. I
Yeah.
feel like that's just a good number to have. It's not too much, it's not too
Too little.
little. um but yeah, there's definitely some marketing efforts that I have with the Royal Purple. It's not just journalism.
Yeah. Awesome. As an editor for the Royal Purple, what types of content do you cover?
So we are covering a lot of different things with the Royal Purple. We have 6 sections that at least the students produce. I already mentioned the opinion section that I run, and yes,
Mhm.
that is submitted columns, but it's still run by me.
Mhm.
And then we have 5 sections for like our student writers and what we write for, and that is campus, community, arts and rec, men's sports, and women's sports. We used to have a couple different sections. Like sports used to be just one section. We used to have a business and technology section that we no longer have
Mhm.
because now that can kind of go into different sections at wherever it fits. Um, and it's all just Whitewater relevant stuff or maybe state relevant stuff, and we're localizing that news.
Mm.
So a big one that I just did was Wisconsin Act 15 was released last year, and it's going to start coming into fruition this year.
Mm.
And some of the big ones are like there are credit changes for how many credits a professor has to teach. There's a huge overhaul of the general education program and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And being able to kind of localize that is really nice because I get to talk to Jeff Angelieri about that. Robin Fox mentioned it at the Chancellor's State of the University address that was a couple weeks ago, and that's kind of that's an example of just localizing like statewide news.
Mhm.
And a lot of it is still local. Like we're covering sporting events, we're covering athletes. For campus, we're obviously covering stuff that's happening on campus.
Mm.
Community, we're covering meetings like finance meetings or common council meetings, or we're covering concerts that are happening in town and arts and rec, like stuff like that. We're kind of hitting a ton of different areas, but it all boils down to it's Whitewater related.
Yeah. Awesome. Walk me through your biggest obstacles and challenges covering these events. I know that we talked previously about outreaching being,
Hmm.
a pain in the butt, but I feel like that is a given. A lot of people sort of postpone these things, but
Hmm.
what are some other big obstacles or challenges you see?
So a lot of the bigger obstacles are just like it's not just with like Royal Purple, it's also with like national wide newspapers. Like you see a lot of these challenges with like the Washington Post and the New York Times and LA Times and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And sometimes we do have to write tougher articles. That's kind of where the first thing comes in is, we have to cover sensitive topics. Like we have to do our due diligence nonetheless. We have to cover student deaths, anything that happened on campus that is rough to cover. I've covered campus safety before, and we have to take on these more sensitive topics. And that's just a challenge in itself. It's hard to cover. You got to make sure everything's worded correctly,
Mhm.
and that you're especially for student deaths, I think is a big example. Is you don't want to like push it onto like family or anything like that.
Mhm.
Um, and then another big challenge too is that sources can be complicated at times. Um, Sometimes they don't want to cooperate. Sometimes they just don't want to. They decline your interview, and you have to kind of improv. It's like, oh, now I
Yeah.
got to find another source to talk to.
Mhm.
And sometimes you're not going to get cooperation, but you still got to find a way to report on it. You still got to do your due diligence, and that's
Mhm.
another challenge there.
Mhm.
Is you still have to do this stuff even if you aren't getting the cooperation that you want. So there are definitely some challenges with the Royal Purple, but I wouldn't say we have any like super specific challenges because we have great campus officials that are willing to talk to us and they understand that we are media and that we're just doing what we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just having great campus officials and having
Yeah.
great people on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our challenges are challenges that you often see with national papers and other student newspapers as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Previous guests that I've had on the podcast and I've interviewed or podcasted other editors for the Royal Purple, and I've asked them the same question. Like, some articles are written and edited by yourself. How has your experience been editing a post with another editor? I feel like um, one of the one of the people I had on the podcast, they said that having another editor sort of gave them more work. Would you say that has been your experience, or sort of how is that with you?
So I do think that the way that we do editing is very structured with the Royal Purple. Now sometimes it is tough because sometimes like we're gonna have to cover things that happen on Saturday night, and then you have a noon deadline on Sunday, and then we have
Mm-hmm.
to find a way for that story to be done, and then you have to get all the editors to edit it and stuff like that. But I do really enjoy how structured it is with the Royal Purple, and it's pretty much so the non-event stories we like to have in by Wednesdays,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes to the section editor on Thursday and Friday. If the section editor writes it, it goes to the assistant section editor, and they edit it. So that gives them 2 days to edit, because by Saturday and Sunday, my managing editor and I, managing editor being Evan Bowler, him and I will go and edit these as well. And it runs through 3 people before it gets published to the website.
Mm-hmm.
And normally we get that done by Sunday, but yeah, sometimes you have those challenges of you have to edit a story by yourself because other people are not available, and a story got in on Sunday because it literally just happened like 12 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, um it's an easy process, I think, for us to get these edits done,
Yeah.
and I really like how structured it is. I wouldn't say there are really any challenges with it, because just we have a tight knit community, and I will talk about that here in a moment as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we have a tight knit community, and we are like open to feedback, and we're friends outside of the paper, and we're hanging out outside of the newspaper,
Mm-hmm.
and especially with Evan and I, we have a meeting every week where we can just sit down and we're like, here's what we saw, here's what, like, we will give each other feedback sometimes. We're going to give editors feedback as well. We want to make sure we're on the same page before we end up meeting an hour and a half later.
Yeah.
And it's I wouldn't say it's too difficult
Mm-hmm.
to be editing with someone else. I think it makes it easier just because I have the comfortability of knowing, like, if I miss something,
Yeah.
this guy probably got it for me,
Yeah.
or vice versa. Like, if this guy missed something when he was editing over,
Mm-hmm.
then I can fix it there.
Yeah.
So going through 3 people really helps, I think.
Yeah. Another set of eyes, sort of on the same thing.
Correct. Yeah.
Someone listening to this wants to be an editor for the Royal Purple. What inspired you to be an editor for the Royal Purple?
So really, the big part was just getting involved. I had already known of the Royal Purple through that Kempa summer camp, and that was obviously very easy. But if I'm talking to someone about if they want to get involved with the Royal Purple, or if they're like on the ropes about it, a couple things that I kind of note is it is very important to get involved, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you want to be a journalist. Depending on what path you want to take, if you want to go into radio, TV, or print, I would recommend going into that organization and getting that experience through a quasi-professional. That's what it is, really. It's quasi-professional experience.
Mm-hmm.
But then you really have the why Royal Purple. Like, sure, you can get involved, but why would you want to get involved with the Royal Purple? And a big thing is that we have a great community of not just journalists but people. Like, we are friends outside of the newspaper,
Mm-hmm.
and we make it, or at least my managing editor and I, we make it very important to make sure that people are comfortable being with the Royal Purple, but they're also comfortable, like, enough so where, hey, let's hang out, like,
Yeah.
outside. Let's go shoot hoops in the Williams Center, or let's go get some food or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have these, like, bonding activities too. So maybe if someone's not available much outside of, like, school and stuff, aka myself,
Mm-hmm.
like we still have some of these bonding things. Like we'll have potluck dinners sometimes that will take over like our normal meetings. So we just had one for Easter. Last semester we had one for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we march in the city parades is another one too. Sometimes it's the Festival of Lights parade is one of them, and it's really cold outside, but we're still having fun because we're with each other.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we just hang out outside of the newspaper. So really, a big thing that I like to push for someone who's interested in joining the Royal Purple is it's not just a business or it's not just corporate. We're a
Mm-hmm.
family. We're a team. We're friends. Let's make it comfortable that way too.
Yeah. A whole community. You're the host of UW TV Sports Update. Walk us through that experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've been comfortable being in front of a camera for a while now. I think that's noted in the YouTube stuff that I've done,
Mm-hmm.
and I've done stuff in the past as well, where I've been in front of a camera. But going into this academic year, really, I realized I hadn't gotten really a quasi-professional experience being in front of a camera yet. And I had it with radio, like that's not being in front of a camera, but that's still broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the print experience. I don't have the TV experience yet. So going into the semester, I thought, let me audition for TV because I'm already in the practicum class for it. So I'm already doing stuff behind the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I try to get in front of the camera now?
Yeah.
So I auditioned and they gave me the sports update job, which I was really appreciative of, and I still am, of course. And that's really like I thought about it more after I got it, and I'm like, I'm combining a ton of different passions here.
Yeah.
Like I'm combining my passion for storytelling. I love Warhawk sports in general, and I love talking about the Warhawks, and I love being in front of a camera. Like this is kind of just combining all these different passions,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really made me comfortable doing this, and it's made me really enjoy being with TV.
Yeah. Awesome. You've been on a variety of talk and radio shows on 91.7 The Edge. How did you go from being a Warhawk Talk panelist and 91.7 DJ from hosting your own show?
Yeah, sure. So, I'm still obviously hosting Warhawk Talk.
Mm-hmm.
But I started out as a panelist, and I was a part of like the OG group, if you call it that. So, ever since the beginning of it, which was like a year and a half ago, so there's not really too much of a timeline to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my dear friends, Parker Olson, he's graduated now, but he wanted to start the Warhawk Talk show with the student media leaders so we could have a talk show on 91.7 The Edge about Warhawk sports. Like he had felt like we hadn't had that before, and I felt the same way. I'm like, I'm down for this. Let's
Mm-hmm.
do this show. So at the time it was him he was the editor in chief of the Royal Purple at that time. You had me as men's sports editor of the Royal Purple at that point. My now roommate Mason Rake was on that show. He was the women's sports editor
Mm-hmm.
at the time, and then we brought on 91.7 The Edge sports director Chris Pittner. He's also graduated. And then the co-sports supervisors for 91.7 The Edge, or not 91.7 The Edge, UW-TV, Gabe Sadowski and Josh Jacoby.
Mm-hmm.
So we brought up we us six just decided let's have a talk show about Warhawk sports. We had like a trial run in the fall semester for a couple shows
Mm-hmm.
without Mason wasn't there yet and Josh wasn't there yet. But we had a little bit of a trial run and we liked it. So
Yeah.
we decided, you know what, let's keep doing it. And then we used the spring semester last year and we did a show every week outside of spring break. And then Parker and Chris graduated, so we're like, oh, our host is gone, and then the 91.7 The Edge sports director is gone too. So now we're gonna have to continue this on. So I decided to take on hosting it,
Mm-hmm.
and I also brought on now 91.7 sports director Zach Kreider, and then Chris Flynn, he's not a student media leader per se, but he is one of our finest announcers with TV and radio. He's great at what he does, and he's also now doing play-by-play for the Janesville Jets in Janesville as well, the hockey team.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, unfortunately, 5 of the 6 of us are going to be graduating in December, or I guess 4 of us are. One of them's graduating this summer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be tough, I think, but
Yeah.
I have full confidence in Flynn. I think he's going to do a great job finding some replacements for Warhawk Talk.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been voted best specialty show the last 2 semesters. So now it's like this show needs to go
Huge.
on,
That's
you know.
huge. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm really confident in Flynn that he will bring on people. And it's going to be upsetting when eventually I graduate and I'm not going to be able to talk about Warhawk sports with my best friends once a week on the
Yeah.
radio. But
All right.
I'm so happy that we were able to have the show anyways.
Mm-hmm. Would you say you being on TV, how is that experience different from you being on YouTube?
So the
Or
big
is it very
thing,
similar?
yeah, I think I like to think of me talking to a live audience when I'm on TV.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything's way more like there's way more technology involved. Like you have a TV. I've got a huge camera that I'm talking to. I've got a lav mic connected to me. I've
Mm-hmm.
got a TV behind me showing the sports update logo, and then you go into editing it, and it's all super professional and sophisticated as well.
Yeah.
As for YouTube, I'm talking to my phone, and then yes, I have a microphone, but it's not as expensive or as advanced as a lav mic is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have a TV behind me with like stuff showing, but it's not as well placed as the TV for sports update is. And then I'm editing it in a free software.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
I would say they're similar, but it's just because I mean I'm talking to a camera and I'm talking about sports. That's where the similarities kind of come in.
Mm-hmm.
But then the difference there is way more technology involved with TV
Yeah.
than there is with YouTube.
Yeah. Awesome. Right now, you mainly cover D3 and intercollegiate athletic conference news. How do you come up with these shows that you want to produce for listeners?
Sure. So it's very similar with TV and 91.7 The Edge in terms of like topics to talk about because you know they're both about whitewater sports. But I think specifically with Warhawk Talk, it's a big opportunity to highlight just whitewater athletics as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And Whitewater, the community of Whitewater, not just the students, but the people in the city, are very passionate about whitewater sports. And this being the student local radio station, it
Mm-hmm.
gives us a big opportunity to just talk about things that people are passionate about and talk about one of the like reasons that Whitewater is nationally known is because UW-Whitewater has some of the best Division III athletics out there.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about what's popular in whitewater athletics, whether that be the popular sports are you obviously have baseball, basketball, and football.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we're talking more about baseball and softball because that's what's popular in the spring season. But we also have these engaging mini games as well, and we have media moments of the week where we highlight student media on campus. So there's consistency in each show, but it's always topical, it's always engaging, and coming up with like show topics and things that we want to produce for the listeners. It all just goes back to people love Warhawk athletics, so let's talk about Warhawk athletics.
Yeah. Awesome. Well put. Let's dive into topic 4 and talk about your experience with the Residence Hall Association. You run social media with the RHA. This includes running their events, newsletters, and overall marketing efforts. What's your favorite campaign you've done so far or in the past with RHA?
So campaign wise, I think my favorite thing is the leadership involvement team time trials, and it's obviously lit time trials for short.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a competition among the lits and throughout the different housing complexes, and it's just timed events, and it's just all of them are get to compete against each other. They always have fun doing it.
Yeah.
And it's been different every semester too, because this semester I'm actually wrapping these up tomorrow for this semester. They're doing alphabet categories, which if you know the game Tapple, it's kind of similar to that in a
Mm-hmm.
way. Where it's like the game categories, but you can't say the same letter more than once, or something that starts with the same letter more than once. Um, but we've done minute to win it games in the past. We did a speed trivia in the past,
Oh, that sounds fun.
and it's just nice seeing them have so much fun competing against each other. They're not all doing it at once, but it's like you can tell like, oh, I want to beat this
Yeah.
lit, or oh, I really hope we win because they also get a traveling plaque if they do win,
Mm.
which it's just a small plaque that says Residence Hall Association Lit Time Trials winner on it.
Mhm.
But it's nice to have those bragging rights.
Yeah.
So really that campaign's been my favorite, I think, because it's just fun watching them have fun, and then
Yeah.
I get to post about it. So that's cool, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, the best things to watch is how competitive each each one of them are with each other.
Yep.
You guys have this like annually, once
Once
a
a
year,
semester.
sorry, once a semester.
So this is the fourth semester that we've done it. I've done it like I started it and then I've done it every semester. I've been on staff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to get to run out of categories or things to do here, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's been every semester.
Yeah, awesome. How has working with the RHA helped your career development?
I think it's helped me get into the groove of like different things that I might have to do in my future. Like I might not have to do graphic design, but I've been making all the flyers for our HA programs. Or maybe my job doesn't involve video editing like directly, but I'm still doing the video editing or I'm doing the video capturing and stuff like that. I've been
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot with RHA, I think, and it's given me a lot of opportunities to just do different things and get involved in different ways. And I think that's really helped out with career development because now I can throw all these things on my resume and someone likes graphic design, like, ooh, that's you like graphic design. Let's interview this guy.
Yeah.
Or some especially with social media, I think there are a lot of different ways that people can take social media. It could be the content creation, the graphic design, the
Mm-hmm.
management side of things. I think just having all that and being able to have all that through RHA has really helped.
Yeah. You mentioned that you wanted to go more into the marketing field. I know that for journalism too, the people that do these roles, they need to be a jack of all trades. So
Exactly.
I know that being like a writer, you have to be good at outreaching, obviously writing. But then if you move those efforts to marketing, that's copywriting, and definitely all interchangeable skills.
Yes.
What's your favorite thing working with the RHA?
I like doing everything obviously with the programs is a lot of fun, but I really enjoy how flexible of a job it is and how it's kind of just like a free job. Like I'm not being told exactly what to do. And part of that's my boss. Kayla Sotalski's been great. She's like very important in housing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, but she's also the advisor of RHA, and she's seen these things for the past couple of years, and she knows what she wants done. But she's kind of gonna she's gonna talk to me and be like, I want you to do this,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of you take the reins on it, or like come like have your own with a campaign idea
Yeah.
or stuff like that. And it's like I really enjoy that. I really
Mm-hmm.
enjoy being able to be creative and not particularly being told exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of strive for in a job in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where, or even like a job where I can lead a team and stuff like that. But I think the flexibility has been my favorite part about RHA.
Yeah. The creative freedom is definitely
Yes.
a huge up. Right now, what is stopping you from becoming an even better journalist and marketer? And what do you just need to improve on?
I think I need more time, if
Yeah.
I'm being honest with you. Obviously that'll happen like in my profession, like that's gonna be the big thing is I'm gonna be working like 8-hour days and stuff like that. So I will have the time to be better and improve the quality. It's just being involved with so many different things on campus and then also having a job at home as well.
Mm.
It's it's not easy to just be like rapid fire and throw high quality things out there like 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I do like put out work that I'm very proud of and I don't know how much I could have really improved on it. But yeah, I think the time is the biggest constraint there. I think more time will provide more quality and in return will just make me feel better about my work. So
Yeah.
that is what I think. I don't know if it's particularly improving on something specific. It's more the time constraint. So now I have more time to do exactly what I'm envisioning for something.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Let's jump into topic 5, which is your journalism award that you won. You were one of 5 UW-Whitewater students who won an award. Can you explain what the Wisconsin Newspaper Association contest is?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the Wisconsin Newspaper Association Better Newspaper Contest. They have one for college, but they also have one for high school and then for professionals as well. The big one for college is it's an opportunity for students to be awarded for their efforts and for their work and all that. Um, the contest is attached to a convention as well, which is really nice. The WNA convention is held once a year, and it's 2 days of seminars, workshops, and stuff like that. But then during meals and like lunches and dinners, you also have the Better Collegiate newspaper contest, and you also have the high school and the professional versions as well. And they also have the Wisconsin Newspaper Hall of Fame that
Mm-hmm.
they do, I believe, the first day during dinner, which
Mm-hmm.
former Royal Purple advisor Sam Martino, who unfortunately did pass away a couple of years ago now, did get inducted into the Wisconsin Newspaper Hall of Fame this year. So that was
Oh,
something
that's
we
good.
were also able to celebrate on top of the awards as well.
Mm. Awesome. Thank you for explaining that. You also won the same award, I think, last year in May. How did you feel at that moment? Because that was the first time you won the award, correct?
So yeah, I in May, or it was April, I
Oh.
believe, or it was still last year.
Yeah.
Last year I had gotten second place for Sports Story, and it was
Mm.
about the Paralympian representation that we have here at UW-Whitewater, especially for wheelchair basketball. I
Mm.
think we had 12 or so Paralympians in the 2020 would that be 2024 Paralympics? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I think the biggest difference, though, between last year and this year is just the sheer output of awards that we had. And that is something we are very proud of, and something we were able to do this year because Royal Purple is out of debt for the first time in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're able to spend more money on the award output. But going from 2 awards total throughout the team to 15 was a
Yeah.
huge jump for us. And I'm so proud of the team for that. For myself, I had taken first place collegiate journalist of the year,
Mm-hmm.
which is obvious. That's the big thing. Um, but I also had second place for breaking news, third place for sports story, and honorable mention for sports photography.
I see.
And when it comes to winning collegiate journalist of the year, I was manifesting it, but I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah,
I'll tell
yeah.
you that. I especially when they went through the results, they announced third, second, and then first. They announced second place, and I know the guy. I'm
Mm.
like, I've never written a story as good as this guy has. This guy is one of the best, if not the best, collegiate sports writer I've ever like read something of. I mean, he
Yeah.
got first place for sports story and first place for breaking news,
Mm.
which were two categories that I had placed for, but not did not get
Yeah.
first. I'm like, oh, that's okay. This guy's
I lost.
second.
Yeah.
Oh no! And then they announced first, and it was me. And eventually they send you the like what the judges' comments were, and I think
Mm.
a big selling point was the leadership stuff. Like it was less the writing and more like we're out of debt for the first time in a long time, and we won a lot of awards, and our social media output is way up, and our website viewership is way up, and stuff
Mm.
like that. And they announce me, and I'm sitting there like I don't know how to react because I don't like doing just like the shocked face reaction. But I also don't want to walk up there like, "Oh yeah, like
I'm the man.
let's go. I'm the best person ever."
Uh-huh.
Um so really I just didn't know how to react in the moment. And then they announced me, I kind of just like went like a fist like, "Yes." And then I stood up and just walked up to the stage like nothing. I'm like, I don't
Nonchalant.
know, but nonetheless, it felt great.
Yeah.
When the name was announced, but it wasn't just about that too. Like, cause that's the last one that they announced, or second to last one that they announced actually.
Mm.
Um, but just then we had won 14 awards before they announced me
Mm.
for Collegiate Journalist of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
And just thinking about that, I'm like, we won 15 awards.
Yeah. That's
I was
bizarre.
just
That's
like,
crazy.
I'm still so proud of everyone for the work that they put in.
Mm.
We did have 5 current students take home awards, but we had also a multitude of former students that also took home awards as well, whether they transferred or graduated.
Oh.
And I think we had 8 or 9 total students take home awards.
Mm.
So that was just, I mean, that's just great.
That's amazing.
And it's throughout all the categories too. Like
Yeah.
we had winners for photography. We won first place for both sports photography and news photography.
Mm.
And then we also had a lot of placements we had one for arts and entertainment. We had one for business. We had one for, obviously we had breaking news and stuff, which is something that we improved on this year or this past year. Just the number of awards that we put forth this year is really what I think my biggest takeaway is obviously I'm proud of winning Collegiate Journalist of the Year, but the fact that the team was able to win that many awards and kind of just put us more on the map at least compared to previous years. I'm so proud of him still.
Yeah.
I'm still so proud.
Oh wow, that was well said. You're so early in your career and yet have won so many honorable awards and recognition, journalism awards and Academy Writing Awards. What do you think got you here? Like, what is your why?
Sure. So, and that's something that I don't forget, but the university writing award that I won, it was the distinguished writing award for the same story that I had the second place sports story for, but the plaque is like in my house at like in Illinois, so it's
Mhm.
like I think about WNA and I'm like, oh, I had this that wasn't WNA as well. But you know what? I think it's passion and it's drive. Um, I honestly strive to be a perfectionist, and that is something that has hurt me in the past, but it
Mm.
has also helped me as well. And I think putting together some of my best work for these award shows and just in general, like I'll be honest, my favorite story didn't win anything this year.
Mm.
And it's like I think that story should have gotten maybe first place, but then I read the first place story and I'm like, okay, this is insane. Um but just a couple examples, like getting second place breaking news reporting. Like that was me getting on my computer as soon as something happened and writing a story about it and putting it up on the website. When it comes to the
Mhm.
third place sports story, I had to reach out to Lance Leipold, who is probably the best head coach in Whitewater history. And I had to reach out to him for that story and just keep pushing for it and getting that interview. And eventually I did. And
Mhm.
then he messaged me on Twitter after. He's like, "You did a great job on the story." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." Like, that is, oh my goodness. And then I think that's what it is. It's the drive and it's the willingness to get stuff done. I think it's also the willingness to do everything as well.
Mm.
Because obviously I had the breaking news and the sports, but then I also got an award for photography. And then I also write stuff for every section. I think I've written in every section at least twice now,
Mm.
which is something that is hard to do because sometimes you're just not as educated in one topic as the other, which I can say about myself.
Mhm.
But still, the willingness to just write in those sections, I think, has also helped me out a lot.
Yeah. So you're basically born for media. If that's all I could take away. No, that's awesome. Uh, let's jump into your experience with Mac Sports Center. What piqued your interest working as a camp counselor and marketing intern with the Sports Center?
So funny enough, so I started as the camp counselor, just as like a part time like job. I need money, like
Mm.
let me work. And my girlfriend's dad it runs the marketing with at the Mac Sports Center, and you can probably guess where that's going with the internship.
Yeah.
But he helped me get hired with the Mac Sports Center as a camp counselor, and that was really nice. I enjoy it a lot just because it's nice to see kids go home with a smile on their face and laughing to their parents. And it's like, I want to come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um, that's just great to see. And then it turned into an internship with them where I know like my girlfriend's dad, Mike, like Mike knows that I'm very interested in social media and content creation and stuff like that. So he helped me secure an internship with the Mac Sports Center.
Mm.
And that really was a lot of like filming stuff with them and then editing that footage down to like a 30-second reel or 20-second reel to get it posted up onto our pages. Then there was also like a minute long recap. We had a water day outside and it was like a minute long recap of that, and doing
Mhm.
different things with that has also been a lot of fun, and even that's going to help me professionally. And then even with the camp counselor stuff too, like that's not going to help me professionally,
Yeah.
but it's still really nice to do it. I enjoy being a camp counselor. I enjoy doing the filming for them and stuff.
Mhm.
And really, the thing that piqued my interest initially was just I need a job, but and then it turned into the internship eventually, which I'm very thankful for.
Yeah. Was that your first job um working in marketing professionally or in the workforce?
Yes, I would
Uh,
say so. I had the RHA before then,
mm.
or I was hired with RHA before then, but I see that as more of just like a campus job compared to this as an internship. So yeah, that
Yeah.
I would say that's my first experience professionally.
Mm. Awesome. Speaking about social media, let's talk about your YouTube channel, Chase Keller Journalism. It's an all-out football-based channel. What does this channel mean to you right now?
It means a lot to me, even if like I can't just I'm too busy right now. I can't post anything right now, but it
Mm,
still means a lot to me because I'm an NFL draft geek. I love all things NFL draft, and it's been that way for a long time.
mhm.
And being able to turn that passion into content creation and then also eventually turned into monetization as well and getting paid by YouTube, it's been a blast.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. It's nice to also just show to employers like, hey, I've done all this stuff by myself for the last 3 years.
Mhm,
Take a look at it.
mhm.
And it's nice to have that on the resume too and put that on the portfolio. And yeah, that's another thing too, is like I do it all myself. I don't hire like editors or I'll ask for like inspiration from some of my friends and stuff, but doing it all myself has been fun too because I like to have that creativity and that
Mhm.
creative just path. And I want my creativity to show, not someone else's creativity, because I envision it how I want it, and then I do it how I want it to be done. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, back to what you asked. I mean, it does mean a lot to me because it's just nice to show, like, kind of similar to what the sports update is and the Warhawk talk is, like combining multiple passions of mine and putting it towards content creation and being in front of a camera.
Mhm. There's obviously a lot of work that goes into long form content that you've done. What's been the hardest part running Chase Keller journalism?
Outside of having the time to do it, it's been the fair use laws, I think, and the
Oh yeah.
copyright laws. So the big thing with that, and it's a big running thing with NFL draft content creators and just football content creators in general, is everything we do is fair use, and it does fall under legal, like it's legal to do it,
Mhm.
and that's just how it is with us. And sometimes though, there are companies that will still like copyright claim your content because it's
Mhm.
like, oh, you filmed a video in a college stadium and we don't like that.
Yeah.
So they'll copyright claim, and then with YouTube's claim system, it's borderline impossible to get the claim taken off of your video, even if what you're doing is legal.
Yeah.
So I think that has been really difficult. It's just working around that because once you get a copyright claim, they take all of the money from the video.
Mm.
So it's like if I'm monetized and I have a video that is doing really well and then it just gets demonetized, like I don't want to share like specific like
Yeah.
financial things, but we'll just say it could be like $250 that could go to you that goes to them.
Mhm.
So stuff like that, I think outside of time and just the time constraints for it,
Yeah.
it's been working around copyright and fair use laws.
Yeah. They could definitely be very tedious because I know I've dealt with some of that too. But
They can.
what can you really do about it? You have a lot of endeavors. Do you feel like you wish you had more time to work on your YouTube channel or side projects or other projects?
I mean, obviously, I wish I had more time for
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah, I
but
do.
yes, agreed. I honestly don't have like any time. I mean, I haven't posted in a couple months on the YouTube channel at this point. It's the time. It's having all those endeavors,
Mm.
and obviously, I take priority in academics and the student involvement stuff. It's tough to find the time to make content for sure. But the last two draft seasons, what's really stood out is I have had to stop doing content just because of how busy I've gotten. But a lot of the viewership comes in from like November to February,
Mm.
and during that time I'm not really too busy, especially from December to February. And actually I wrote it down here. The from December to February, CKJ got over 95,000 views on just the long form content.
Mm.
And that's the best drafts.
Insane.
That's the best draft season I've ever had in terms of those months.
Yeah.
And I had two videos do over 20,000 views as well. One of them got up to 30K,
Mm.
and then I just had to stop because of just time constraints. I just don't have the time to do it. And but that's okay because around March, the Super Bowl had happened. So now some of these NFL creators are going more towards the draft, and they're way more popular than I am.
Mhm.
So the viewers flock over there, and the viewership just generally goes down.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to get ahead with the draft content though, because part of it is obviously that's when I have the time to do it, but there aren't a lot of people doing it in that time frame. So Yeah, I'm gonna make it then.
Take advantage of the timing.
I'm gonna be different, and I'm gonna make the
Yeah.
draft content
Yeah.
2 months to 4 months before it actually happens. So
Mhm.
that's been something that I've done the last couple seasons that has really paid off, and it especially pays off given that, oh man, I don't have the time to do it in March and April and May. So
Yeah.
that's where the time and has been. The time has been well before the draft.
Mm. Awesome. Topic 8, the last one, closing remarks. What is one piece of advice you would give a student that is interested in a similar path you're taking?
Get involved. Just and I know I mentioned it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Whatever path you want to take, if you're going into journalism, if that be in radio, TV, or print, whichever one, get the experience you want to get with at least one of the student organizations that UW-Whitewater has to offer. If you want to go into radio news, get involved with 91.7 The Edge and start early, and then stay with the 91.7 as you go on. That's kind of what I did with Royal Purple.
Mm-hmm.
Is now I know I'm not going into print anymore, but it's like I started right when I got on campus, and I've been with them ever since. And I'm going to be with them next semester too when I close out my college career. But you want to find at least one student or organization to get involved with that kind of aligns with your career path, and then take advantage of the opportunities that this university has to give. Because there aren't many universities that have these opportunities, and I think that gets kind of why I chose UW-Whitewater, as I mentioned earlier. That was a big reason to why I chose to go here,
Mm-hmm.
and I think students need to take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, these are all real world experience.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if you can have it with a close circle and community too, I say you go for it. What is one goal you want to achieve by the end of the semester? This could be both or all personally, academically, or professionally.
So I just want my capstone project to be great. That's a big thing of this semester is, of course, it's capstone. It's the most important class you're gonna take while you're here as a journalism student. Um, and it's going to be tough, yes, because there's time constraints, and I'm very involved and stuff like that. It's gonna be tough to make it like really where I want it to be, but I want to be confident with it when I put it on my resume and I show employers this was my capstone project. And I want other people to read it and be inspired and be I don't want to say like amazed or anything like that, but they read it and they're satisfied with the read, and they're happy that they put their time toward reading it.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that it ends up being the best thing I've ever written. It's going to be tough, as I said, but I hope that's what it ends up as.
Mm-hmm. I love that. From your time at UW Whitewater, what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of not just my personal success, but the success that my team has had with the Royal Purple, as I mentioned with the awards. Which I guess that could be you could rephrase that to like my favorite accomplishment is being named editor in chief of the Royal Purple, but I love leading the team, and I love seeing all the things that they do. I love giving feedback, and I love telling people what a great job they did. And that has been just probably this has been the most fun that I've had on campus, is being able to be the leader of the team and being able to just cuz when I was in men's sports, I'll just say this, it feels like you're kind of just held in men's sports. Like you're not often going to branch out to other sections. But now that I'm EIC and I am branching out to other sections, I can grow closer relationships with these people in these other sections. And that is where I've really enjoyed being with Royal Purple, is being able to connect with these people and see the improvements too. I think that is definitely something that I love and I'm proud of during my time, is being able to help people improve, but then also seeing their improvements and seeing them make that jump, because now I know they're just going to keep improving, and they're going to kind of take the same path that I did, where I wasn't the best writer my freshman year. By my senior year, I'm a great writer. I'm very excited to see them take that same path too.
Yeah. Well said. Well, everyone, this has been your guest, Chase Keller. How can students get a hold of you?
A lot of places.
I'll just-
I on social media. I mainly you can probably contact me through Instagram. I'd say would be the best way. Whether that be through my personal, which is chase.keller_, or Chase Keller Journalism as well. I have that journalism page that I check every once in a while. So, but whenever I get a DM on there, I respond pretty quickly. Or students can just email me generally. Keller CD04 at uww.edu. But I know it's easier to just look up my name on the white pages of the university and
Mhm.
copy
And
paste
get
the
it
email
there.
through that. But yeah, I would say those are probably Twitter too. That's a good way to contact as well.
Mhm.
C Keller Sports on there. I also make a lot of college football content on Twitter as well. So that's another place.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a lot, but I would say those are probably the best ways to get a hold of me.
I know that you have a link tree, so that's definitely a great place to see all your productions too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, check out Chase Keller and his productions on the UW Whitewater platforms. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you all in the next Creating Connections episode. Bye, Warhawks.